Skyshale 33. Does anyone remember this kid's show? It was called Candle Cove, and I must have been 6 or 7. I never found a reference to it anywhere, so I think it was on a local station around 1971 or 1972. I lived in Ironton at the time. Don't remember which station though, but I do remember it was on at a weird time, like 4 o'clock p.m. Mike Painter 65. Seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland and was 9 years old in 72. Candle Cove. Was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl. Skyshale 33. Yes. Okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from other parts of dolls, a real low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll. It looked like an antique that didn't belong on the body. I don't remember what station this was. I don't think it was WTSF though. Jaren 2005. Sorry to resurrect this old thread, but I know exactly what show you mean, Skyshale. I think Candle Cove ran for only a couple of months since 71, not 72. I was 12 and I've watched it a few times with my brother. It was channel 58, whatever station that was. My mom would let me switch to it after the news. Let me see what I remember. It took place in Candle Cove, and it was about a little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called the Laughing Stock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily. There was this Calliope music constantly playing. Don't remember the girl's name. Janice, Jade, or something. I think it was Janice. Skyshale 33. Thank you, Jaren. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughing Stock in Channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face with the lower jaw submerged. It looked like it was swallowing the sea, and it had this awful Ed Wynn voice and laugh. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from the wooden plastic model to the foam puppet version of the head that talked. Mike Painter 65. I remember now too. Hey, you remember this part, Skyshale? You have to go inside. Skyshale 33. Mike, I got a chill reading that. Yes, I remember. That's what the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in, like a cave or a dark room where the treasure was. And the camera would just push in on Laughing Stock's face with each pause. You have to go inside. With his 2 eyes askew and that flopping foam jaw. And the fishing line that opened and closed. Ugh. It just looks so cheap and awful. You guys remember the villain? He had a face that was just a handlebar mustache above these really tall and narrow teeth. Kevin Hart. I honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when this show was on. Nightmare fuel. Jaren 2005. That wasn't the villain. The puppet with the mustache? No, that was the villain's sidekick, Horace Horrible. He had a monocle too, but it was on top of the mustache. I used to only think that it meant that you had 1 eye or something. But yeah, the villain was another marionette. The Skin Taker. I can't believe what they let us watch back then. Kevin Hart. Jesus H. Christ, the Skin Taker. What kind of a kids show were we watching, guys? I seriously could not look at the screen when the Skin Taker showed up. He just descended out of nowhere on his strings. Just a dirty skeleton wearing that brown top hat and cape. And that glass eye that was too big for a skull. Christ Almighty. Skyshale 33. Wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily? Was that supposed to be children's skin? Mike Painter 65. Yeah, I think so. Remember, his mouth didn't open and close. His jaw just slid back and forth. I remember the little girl said, "Why does your mouth move like that?" And the skin taker didn't look at the girl, but at the camera, and said, "To grind your skin." Skyshale33. I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory, this bad dream where the opening jingle ended and the show faded in from black. All the characters were there, but the camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming. The puppets and the marionettes were flailing spastically, just all screaming. And the girl was just moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. I woke up many times from that nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it. Kevin Hart. I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode. Skyshale33. No. Not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean, literally just standing in place crying and screaming for the whole show. Kevin Hart. Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory because you said that, but I swear to God I remember seeing what you just described. They just screamed. Jaren 2005. Oh God, yes. The little girl, Janice, I remember seeing her shake. And the skin taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw careening so wildly, I thought it was going to come off its wire hinges. I turned it off, and that was the last time I watched. I ran to tell my brother. We didn't have the courage to turn it back on. Mike Painter, 65. So, I visited my mom today at the nursing home. I asked her about when I was little in the early 70s, when I was 8 or 9, and if she remembered a kids show, Candle Cove. She said that she was surprised I could remember that, and I asked why. She said, "Because I used to think it was so strange that you said, 'I'm gonna watch Candle Cove now, Mom,' and then you would just tune this TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your little pirate show."